afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Tessa from the Development Academy of the Philippines, your host for today. Welcome to the Public Sector Productivity webinars organized by the Center of Excellence on Public Sector Productivity, or COE-PSP, of the DAP. The DAP, as the focal organization of the Asian Productivity Organization, or APO, will be hosting a new episode for its Public Sector Productivity Webinars 2023. This week's webinar series is entitled Human Capital Development as a Driver in Improving Public Sector Productivity. It aims to discuss human capital as a driver in influencing PSP. For today's session, the resource speaker will discuss Envisioning the Future Civil Servants, Shaping Public Sector Productivity. The session aims to provide the viewers with an understanding of the future public sector workforce and how it will be developed. At this point, we would like to acknowledge our viewers watching live from our Facebook and YouTube platforms. Welcome to our participants watching from Facebook. We have Butuan City Water District, PRC Caraga, Municipality of Toboso Negros Occidental, LGU Orion Bataan, Nueva Vizcaya State University, DSWD Central Office. Of course, we have our viewers from YouTube, from the DAR Provincial Office, Davao de Oro, Office of the Mayor, Municipality of San Joaquin, Iloilo, the Bureau of Corrections, MMDA, BFAR Central Office, Philippine National Volunteer Service Coordinating Agency. We also have viewers from Philippine Health Insurance Corporation and Philippine Commission on Women. Again, a warm welcome to all our viewers from different agencies across the Philippines. We apologize if we missed mentioning your agency, but we're thrilled that we have you here for this webinar series. We hope you're having a great Wednesday afternoon. Great. Before we move on, we would like to remind our participants that the session and course evaluation form. The evaluation link will be given at the end of tomorrow's session. For your questions, please feel free to write it at the comment section of Facebook or at the live at the end of the session later. Right. At this point, it's my pleasure to introduce our esteemed presenter for today. She's currently the Acting Director 3 of the Civil Service Institute. Prior to her current work assignment, she was the Provincial Director of the CSC Sorsogon Field Office in Region 5. She was also the Chief of the Human Resource Division of the CSC Regional Office 5 from 2017 to 2019. As the head of the HRD, she has been instrumental in the development, enhancement, and execution of various CSC training programs in the areas of foundation, human resource management, technical, and leadership courses. From 2015 to 2017, she was also the chief of the Policies and Systems Evaluation Division, who specialized in the implementation of the Prime HRM and Strategic Performance Management Systems, or SPMS. She's a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering graduate and a licensed civil engineer who found passion in the field of human resource management. In 2014, she became one of the recipients of the Australia Award Scholarships, who earned her Master of Human Resource Management degree with academic excellence. She earned various leadership and technical
which will feature about human capital development. Okay, so that's why I'd like to start my presentation with this one. So this is about envisioning the future civil servants or shaping public sector productivity. So again, I'd like to start my session with this. For me, when I heard this one, this is actually a thought-provoking quote from a famous book. And at first, when I heard about this, I was quite alarmed because it has this bold declaration that people are not your most important resource. So I was like, really? How come it's not? Because we've been taught that human resource is the most important resource of yung ating mga yamang tao. But wait, there's a catch to this. Because according to the book author or co-author of this book, if you've heard of this, it's Good to Great by Jim Collins. Ang sabi ni Jim Collins ay ito: people are not your most important resource. The right people are. So there's a catch to this. Because Colin argues that it's not just about having enough people, marami kang ang tao, but they're not the right people to do the job. Because this spells the difference that would mean the success of any organization. I mean, it has been proven that even napakarami mong tao, but you don't have the competent and credible people to do the job, then the success or the organization will somehow fail. So, guided by this insight from Jim Collins, the Civil Service Commission, kami po yun, as the central HR agency of the Philippine government or the central HR institution of the Philippine government, we have a lot of mandates. It's a handful actually. But let me emphasize this, that we are more than just examination administration, because every time na may makilala ako, they would always ask me, when is the next exam schedule? But if I'm going to ask them what they know about the Civil Service Commission, it's always about career service examinations or civil service eligibilities. But let me emphasize this again, that the CSC is more than just examination administration and issuance of eligibilities, but we are also into appointments processing. We also hear and decide administrative cases. But more than this, because our topic for today is about human capital development, we are more into human capital development. Okay? So, which means that one of our mandates is to deliver transformative human resource or human capital development programs and policies that are aimed at guiding the Philippine bureaucracy towards a forward-looking future. And for us to do this, we need this. And what is that? We need a compass. Actually, I would love to call it sana bolang kristal. So, we need to have a compass to the future so that we would know ano ba yung mga makikita namin na future government employees at paano namin mape-prepare ang ating mga current government employees towards that future. So, we need that compass because we would like to answer this question. What does the future look like? And most specifically, what does the future public sector workforce look like? Now, to answer these questions, kami po sa CSC looked into the major trends that somehow would shape the future public sector workforce. So we found out six major trends. Alam ko marami ito na major na trends, but we will, for this discussion or for this webinar, we'll focus into these six major trends that the CSC should be able to address so that we would be able to prepare our current workforce for the future. Now, these six major trends are the following. The first one is digital transformation. The second is diversity and inclusion. Third, remote work. Fourth, resilience and dynamism. Fifth, adaptive leadership. And finally, lifelong learning. So let us examine each of these trends closely by starting with the first one, very obvious. I mean, I'm sure most, if not all, of the government agencies that are watching us now, or even most of the government agencies now are trying to address digital transformation because the Philippines, like the rest of the world, is experiencing a rapid digital transformation. Now, this transformation offers an opportunity for us civil servants to become more efficient, transparent, and responsive to the needs of our public. That is why here are the opportunity areas, because envisioning the future would mean embracing the following: embracing digital tools, data driven decision making, innovative solutions for better public service delivery. Now, on the part of the CSC, ano ang ginagawa namin to address this so that our current workforce will be able to adapt to to embrace digital transformation. Now, here are some of our major initiatives under digital transformation. The first one is one of the most significant steps actually taken by the Civil Service Commission was moving from having just an information technology division or IT division to creating an office. So from a division to an office. So we call that ICT office or ICTO. Now, this ICTO will be an entire office that will cater to all the ongoing and upcoming IT programs of the Civil Service Commission. Now, the second initiative that we have is the creation and use of driven platforms. Now, what are these platforms? An example is our knowledge management portal or KM portal, which serves as a centralized hub for reliable information. And this provides access to e-services. But of course, this is just for internal kaming mga CSE employees. But what's external is this one, the centralized, or the customer feedback and satisfaction survey, which you can access via our website via this link, that's cfss.csc.gov.ph. Now, this CFSS is, we've implemented this survey. It's a web-based application or survey, standardized feedback tool, which we use across all CSE offices from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Now, this tool facilitates real-time feedback monitoring and data generation because, as you know, as one of our part of our mandate is to regularly develop and update our policies, especially in terms of excellent public service delivery. That is why this is really helpful for us and for our offices, all CSE offices across the Philippines. Now, the third initiative that we have under digital transformation is this one. This is we have recently launched this one, the Civil Service Eligibility Verification Systems or CSEVs. We call that CSEVs. Now, if you visit our website, csc.gov.ph, you will see this button there. That's the CSEVs. What's interesting about the CSEVs is that this is an electronic database that grants CS employees and, of course, those eligibles to verify the authenticity and validity of your civil service eligibility as part of appointment verification process submitted by government agencies. Now, because of this, CSEVs, we have issued this recent memorandum circular, that CSCMC number 3, series of 2023. This is actually an amendment to Section 4 of 2017 Ora-Ora. So simply stated that you don't need, no? Hindi na kailangan tumawag o pumunta sa tanggapan ng CSC so that you just need to have an authenticated copy of your eligibility. Because a site or screen capture of your eligibility using this tool, online tool, CSEVs, is enough for those who will be applying for government positions and for those seeking for promotion. You just need to have a site or screen capture of your eligibility using the CSEVs, this online verification tool. So it would save you cost on your pamasahe if you go to the Civil Service Commission, just so you'd get an authenticated copy of your eligibility. Paper-wise, we're going green. Paperless na tayo. And of course, your time will be saved because you don't need to queue and visit any of our CSE office because we have this tool, this online verification system, and that is the CSEV. So please help us disseminate that information for those who would want to apply for the government and they are being asked of a copy of their eligibility. This will suffice, the site or screen capture of eligibility using the CSEVs. But of course, just in case that your name is not on this online database, then you can always visit or contact any of our CSE office so that we would be able to address that. Okay. And then our fourth initiative under digital transformation is upcoming. Hopefully, this will be launched next year. That is the digital feedback management system, or the DFMS. Now, we are currently working diligently to implement the DFMS by next year. This is actually designed to elevate the customer experience and revolutionize the CSE's client management practice. How? It goes beyond being merely an AI-based chatbot for responding to comments and private message. So this will actually complement our contact center ng bayan, because it would be able to offer round the clock or 24/7 customer service and automating feedback management. So this will relieve our CCB, or contact center ng bayan agents, of repetitive tasks, and freeing them from their time to concentrate on developmental initiatives. So again, those are our four major initiatives under digital transformation. Now we move on to our second trend that would help us identify the future public sector workforce, and that is diversity and inclusion. So in terms of diversity and inclusion, the CSC recognizes that institutions that prioritize diversity and inclusion are likely to be better positioned to thrive in an ever-changing and interconnected world. Now, given this, here are some of our initiatives, the CSC's initiatives on diversity and inclusion. Now, the first one is actually more on gender and development, and this one is the promulgation of the CSC's revised administrative disciplinary rules on sexual harassment cases, that's CSC MC11 series of 2021. Now, the second is we also spearheaded the gender mainstreaming initiatives, not just in the Philippines, but in the ASEAN region. We had a face-to-face workshop last March 2023, and an online virtual colloquium about the introduction of the gender mainstreaming toolkit, which our ASEAN member states might be able to use in terms of mainstreaming their gender initiatives. So it happened last March and April. Now, the third initiative under diversity and inclusion is that we have consistently promoted the so-called EOP, or Equal Opportunity Principle, under our current program, which is the program to institutionalize meritocracy and excellence in human resource management, or Prime HRM. Now, Prime HRM is really a big program that would help us elevate yung ating how we manage our people in the government, so that, because the premise would be, if we manage our people well, then they would deliver excellent public services, because they are encouraged and they are motivated to do so, because alam nila they are being taken care of. Now, for more information about Prime HRM, you can visit our website, csc.gov.ph, and I also have a YouTube channel on that. And you can search that in the internet, or you can go to the nearest CSC field office. We would be happy to assist you in terms of Prime HRM. Now, our fourth initiative is continuously we offer training programs promoting gender diversity and social inclusion, because the CSC through us, the Civil Service Institute, or CSI, conducts programs and includes that in our annual training program calendar that cultivate diversity and inclusion. Now, these programs are designed to raise the awareness of our government employees and the various dimensions of diversity in the Philippines. So again, those are our four major initiatives under diversity and inclusion. Now we move on to our third major trend, and that is remote work. Okay, we all know what remote work is. This was actually highlighted at usong-uso. Naging uso siya, hindi naman siya naging uso, or it has become imperative, especially during the COVID-19 na pandemic. Now, the future of work is likely to be more hybrid. So let me emphasize that. The CSC thinks that the future of work is likely to be more hybrid and remote. And what happens is that government agencies need to be prepared for this shift. Now, it offers the following advantages. That's why we believe on this. This will be the future of work. Continuity of public service delivery. So remote work setups allows employees to continue working from home or other locations in the Philippines. During natural disasters, another COVID-19 pandemic, or even bigger than COVID-19 pandemic or other emergencies, this means that essential government services can be maintained, reducing the impact on our citizens. It also has, I mean, this one advantage of remote work is in terms of cost savings. One, reduced office space, and number two, lower commuting expenses on the part of our employees. Now, the third advantage of remote work is work-life balance, because a more hybrid and remote work environment can contribute to improved work-life balance for government employees because they have flexible schedules. It reduces the commuting stress that we face every day, and somehow it would also redound to increased job satisfaction. And then, of course, last but not the least, the one of the advantages of remote work is, of course, protection of health, safety, and welfare, especially during pandemic and any emergency. Now, given this, the importance of remote work, the CSC issued this Memorandum Circular number 6, series of 2022. It's about the policies on the FWA, or flexible work arrangements in the government. Now, given the benefits of remote work, it is important to note that the successful adoption of itong ating FWA also requires, number one, careful planning. Number two, we need to invest in technology infrastructure so that we would be able to effectively track and manage the performance of our employees while they are doing remote work. And of course, we also take into consideration cybersecurity measures and the development of internal policies and guidelines to ensure that employees can work effectively and securely from various locations. Again, this is a disclaimer. This is just the general guidelines in the policies on flexible work arrangements, because we highly encourage government agencies to come up with their specific guidelines or internal policies pertaining to FWA, or flexible work arrangements, so that we would know, and so there's an assurance that work will not be compromised. I mean, productivity will not be compromised. So yun po ang inaasahan namin from all government agencies, that with the issuance of this memorandum circular, you would be able to have your own internal guidelines anchored on this general guidelines on the policies on FWA. Now, moving on to our fourth major trend, which is about resilience and dynamism. Now, in terms of resilience and dynamism, now these are the two essential qualities that would enable government agencies or employees to adapt to changing circumstances or emerging challenges and evolving work environments effectively. When we talk about resilience, it is the ability to recover from any adversity. It could be COVID-19 or another pandemic bigger than COVID-19. What is important is that government employees should be resilient, because they will face challenges and setbacks in their work. For example, they have to deal with difficult customers, as basic as that, tight deadlines, or unexpected events. Now, resilient government employees will be able to overcome these challenges and continue to do their jobs effectively. Now, on the other hand, dynamism is the ability to adapt to change. It is important for government employees to be dynamic because, as I've said earlier, the world is constantly changing. Sometimes it's faster than the speed of light. Now, new technologies, new policies, and new challenges are emerging all the time. Now, dynamic government employees will be able to adapt to these changes and continue to provide effective services to the public. Now, to foster resilience and dynamism, that is why each year we organize this annual public sector HR symposium. It is a gathering of government leaders and HRM practitioners aligning, coinciding with the celebration of our anniversary, ang anibersaryo ng lahat ng mga kawani ng gobyerno, the anniversary of all government employees. For the past 2 years, the themes of our symposia have revolved around resilience and dynamism. Kakatapos lang po nito last week. We had this at the World Trade Center in Pasay City, Manila, but meron din pong naka-attend ng ating online because this is a hybrid event. So that was just last week, a week ago, we had this public sector HR symposium, and our theme for that is all about dynamism. Because admittedly, the CSE cannot do this all alone. This is why the HR symposium serves as a strategic platform for nurturing leaders who will play a pivotal role, an important role in cultivating agility and future readiness among our civil servants. So that's it. That's about resilience and dynamism. And if you visit our training calendar, our training programs, they are also anchored on resilience and dynamism. We move to our fifth major trend, and that is adaptive leadership. Now, what is adaptive leadership? Now, adaptive leadership is an essential leadership competency or competency to navigate the complexities of an ever changing world. So, leaders must be able to respond to crises, address emerging issues, and lead with resilience and innovation. On the part of the Civil Service Commission, how do we promote adaptive leadership? Again, through us, the Civil Service Institute or the CSI, we had this CSI leadership series, which is a regular leadership series that we conduct either annually, quarterly, or semi-annual. So we had a webinar last year, the second semester of 2022, about adaptive leadership. Now, again, this is the CSI leadership series is a regular learning intervention in our training calendar for executives, managers, and division chiefs, or its equivalent. So that's about it in terms of adaptive leadership. And we will be coming up with a lot of training programs relative to adaptive leadership in the next years to come. So this is the last trend that would probably shape the future public sector workforce, and that is lifelong learning. So when we say lifelong learning in an era of rapid technological advancement, changing demographics, and evolving public expectations, government employees must continually update their skills and knowledge to remain effective and responsive to citizens' needs. Now, on the part of the Civil Service Commission, we are able to commit to lifelong learning through offering various menu of learning interventions. Again, if you visit our website at csc.gov.ph, we have this button there over there. Nagsasabi siyang training calendar. And if you click that, you will be directed to our page or the training calendar page that we have. But recently, during the recent conduct of the 2023 Public Sector HR Symposium, we launched our CSC LMS because true to our commitment to lifelong learning, we have launched the CSC Learning Management System or the LMS. Now, the CSC LMS or the Learning Management System is more than just a platform. It is our testament to our unwavering dedication to continue learning wherever you are and wherever you want it to be. Because in this site, elearning.csc.gov.ph, and if you scan this QR code there, you will be directed to our landing page of our CSC LMS. Now, in the CSC LMS, when you go to that, you will be asked to create a username and, of course, You have to have your login credentials. This will be emailed to you, and you need to verify that. But more than that, you will have an access to all our training programs, which are also reflected in our training calendar. But there is an addition to that. It's because we also have our e-learning courses, which you can take at any time and any place. So recently, we had one e-learning course which is now available through our CSC LMS, and by next month we will also have one free e-learning on public service values program. Now, to know more about our LMS, let's watch this video.
Are you ready to embark on a journey of knowledge and success? Introducing the Civil Service Commission Learning Management System, your gateway to limitless learning opportunities. Join us as we revolutionize the way you learn. We give you a platform where you can learn new skills and earn certificates. A platform designed to centralize all training requirements of government officials and employees. Fascinating indeed. Here at the Civil Service Commission, we believe that education should be accessible, engaging, and effective. That's why we've created a state-of-the-art learning management system designed to empower learners like you. Our platform boasts an array of powerful features that make learning a breeze. Register in as easy as 1, 2, 3. Enjoy interactive courses, real-time progress tracking, and engaging quizzes that keep you on your toes. Complete the course and generate certificates. And the best part, the CSC LMS is accessible on any device, so you can learn at your own pace, anytime, anywhere. Ready to start your learning adventure? Visit the CSC LMS through www.elearning.csc.gov.ph. The Civil Service Commission Learning Management System, where knowledge meets innovation.
So again, that is our LMS, and you can scan this QR code if you want to go and visit our CSC LMS via elearning.csc.gov.ph. So we're done with our 6 major trends that are shaping the future of public sector workforce. So in summary, those are the 6 major trends. These are digital transformation, that's diversity and inclusion, remote work, resilience and dynamism, and then we have adaptive leadership and lifelong learning. Now, these are the major trends that enabled us, the Civil Service Commission, to have a peek into the future. So nasilip namin yung future to navigate through the potential landscape of the future public sector workforce. Now, while we at the CSC diligently fulfills its mandates, we recognize that we cannot do this all alone because human capital development is not just and should not just be our mission at the CSC, although we are the central HR agency of the Philippine government. But this should also be the mission of every government agency, every government leader, and every government employee that necessitates a collaborative endeavor. So this is really a call for collaboration for all government officials and employees, all government agencies. We need your help at the individual, organizational, and societal level to achieve our shared vision. Every Filipino's dream. Ito yung ating tinatawag na ambisyon natin 2040 or 2040 na makamit ang isang matatag, maginhawa at panatag na buhay. Hindi po lamang ito para sa iyo, para sa akin, at para sa ating mga anak at kamag-anak, kundi para rin sa mga darating pang henerasyon. Maraming salamat, and if you have brilliant ideas and you are interested to collaborate with us on how to better prepare for an agile and future-ready public sector workforce, please connect with us via email. Ito po yung dalawang email that you can connect, csi@csc.gov.ph or my email, eosevero@csc.gov.ph. Sa muli, maraming salamat at magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you very much for the informative and engaging presentation, Director Ems. Really investing in the development and empowerment of our public sector workforce is not just an option, it's an imperative. And the
Yes.
future of effective governance hinges on the growth and the potential of our public servants. We will flash your email later on sa mga gusto pong makipag-collaborate sa CSC, especially with Director Ems. The topic is relatable to many of us, and I believe there are many questions coming over. So let's go ahead and answer some of them. All right. So first, Director Ems from YouTube. Ito po ang tanong ni Angel from Pasig City. Malaki ang ambag ng social protection para maging resilient rin ang mga government employees. Ano po ang ginagawa ng gobyerno, particularly CSC, to prioritize social protection or provisions if available?
Okay, so I'm not sure kung ano yung sinasabi talaga ni Angel. Hello, Angel, nasa YouTube. In terms of social protection, on which aspect? Kasi medyo very vague yung kanyang question. I'm looking at it, baka it's more of a concern of the DSWD, the welfare and protection of individuals. But in terms of the welfare and protection of government employees, kaya nga po, it's part of our mandate as the central HR institution. We continuously promulgate HR policies that would guide our government employees on what they should be doing and what they should follow, so that in that way they will be protected and the welfare of our citizens are also protected. So medyo kasi hindi ko lang masyado nakuha kung anong klaseng social protection doon. But I'm looking probably yung welfare ng ating mga government employees so that they would act in accordance with the existing policies promulgated by the Civil Service Commission, and in turn that would also protect the public.
Great. People. All right. Thank you, Director Ems. We have also another question from Facebook naman, from Miss Jinky of the Lung Center of the Philippines, regarding po dun sa bagong ilo-launch ninyo, the Digital Feedback Management System. She asked, will DFMS be also used to answer government application follow-ups to CSC?
Yeah, it could. Potentially it could, because that would also complement nga yung sinasabi natin na contact center ng bayan, that ngayon marami kaming mga hindi naman maganda, mga concerns. I don't want to call that complaints, because we are able to resolve that through collaboration with the concerned agency. So hopefully the DFMS will cut across all government agencies in addressing the concerns or issues ng ating mga transacting public 24/7, kasi it would be through chatbot or AI. But of course, it will be complemented naman with human resource, not at all times na mga chatbots.
Kailan, ma'am, ang exact launch of the DFMS? If okay lang.
Next year, pero wala pang date.
Next year. Okay. So,
Hopefully, we'll prepare that.
Okay.
We are fast tracking it.
Okay, so for next year. All right. Thank you, Ms. Director Ems. Another question from Mr. Rogi Calmerin of Bucor. Since we are transforming in a digital era, how would it affect the roles of workers in the job, especially the on the rank and file position?
Come again?
Sorry. Since we are transforming now in a digital era, how would it affect the roles of the workers in the job, especially the on the rank and file position?
So I'm thinking, kung tama yung pakakaintindi ko dun sa tanong ni Roger, I sense na parang baka there's an apprehension or there's fear na baka human resource will be replaced. Tama ba ako? That's how I see it. No, it's not naman. Of course, we have security of tenure. We are into digital transformation because we want to fast track everything so that we would be able to focus more on the more important things. No, at least yung ating mga transactional processes will be addressed by digital transformation. And then we can redirect our efforts and resources to better programs and projects and initiatives that would help fast track or that would improve public service delivery. So ganun lang naman. Siguro baka yun nga ang kuha ko ano,
Yun.
baka somehow yung future of public sector workforce ay sobrang konti na lang.
Uh-huh.
Rest assured na we are covered with security of tenure.
All right, thank you po. Okay, let's go naman sa YouTube. We don't have a name, but this is the question. Agencies also hire through job orders or non-plantilla. How will we be able to ensure resiliency given this reality? Alam naman po nating marami talagang non-plantilla din in the public sector. So, yes, ma'am. How are we going to ensure the resiliency?
Okay. So, two things siguro, no? Unang-una, yes, we admit that ang ating mga contract of service and mga job orders do not have employer-employee relationship. But it doesn't mean na dahil wala silang employer-employee relationship is we don't take care of them. That is why for us as Civil Service Commission and even with other government agencies, they are also being prepared to be resilient because they're also part of the learning and development programs of the agency. Hindi naman po sila nade-deprive noon. That is of course initiative na yon ng ating mga government agencies. But for us as CSC, we also include our job order and contract of services in terms of learning and development kasi kami naman din yung nagpo-provide. So we also include them. And not just that, because of course that would entail resources. There are a lot of learning and development interventions, not just through formal training programs. We have coaching and other means that do not necessitate yung paggamit ng mga financial resources natin. So yun, you can be very creative on that aspect and resourceful so that we would be able to prepare yung ating mga contract of service ng mga workforce to be resilient.
Thank you, ma'am, for addressing that. Speaking of talent, we have a question another from YouTube, from Russell. Ito naman po, how can public sector organization or our agencies attract and retain the top talent considering the competition with the public sector or private sector rather?
Private sector. Actually, parang baliktad na yata yun. There's war for talent now. Marami na ang gusto talagang pumunta or pumasok sa government. It's because of the stability. And we have proven that because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, going back to that question on how we are going to attract, that is why the Civil Service Commission has always been encouraging agencies to adopt a competency-based recruitment system, which means it's much more higher than the QS, yung ating tinatawag na qualification standards na eligibility, education, training, and experience. But more than that, you can move up the ladder. Yun ating tinatawag na competency-based na recruitment system. And in fact, because of our program on Prime HRM or the program to institutionalize meritocracy and excellence in human resource management, it's one of the requirements if you want to be accredited in terms of level 2 to 4 accreditation that your agency should be able to adopt a competency-based recruitment and selection system. It's more than, kasi it's never a guarantee that if you have all the number of trainings na parang sobra na yung training hours required mo of a particular position, dalawa na yung iyong bachelor's degree or the iba-iba na yung iyong credentials, it doesn't guarantee excellent or great performance. But we are looking into competency-based recruitment and selection system.
Really competency-based in the government. Speaking of Prime HR, dahil nasabi na ninyo po yun, ma'am, meron po tayong tanong from Miss Julie on Facebook. Sabi po niya, paano po nakakatulong ang pagkakaroon ng Prime HRM sa ease of doing business? For example, processing of application ng HR.
Medyo malalim actually yan na tanong because indirectly Prime at HRM addresses that. Yung pagbilis ng mga transactions. Why? Because ang Prime HRM is a program that encourages every government leader, manager, and supervisor na alagaan mo yung mga empleyado. It's anchored on the premise that if you take care of your employees, they will take care of our clients. So which means kung they are motivated and inaalagaan sila, so doon pumapasok yung sinasabi natin na bibilisan ko because I know ako'y mahal ng aking government agency at ito ang isusukli ko. So that's how Prime HRM is all about. Now, by looking into the needs of our employees, addressing their needs first, then ang ibibigay nila is excellent public service delivery. So if you want to know more about the Prime HRM, napakarami pong resources in the internet about the Prime HRM, and you can always ask any of our CSC field office personnel or any CSC employee about Prime HRM.
Thank you. Pero ma'am, last na talaga sa Prime HRM pa, meron pa tayo from
Sure.
YouTube. Isa pa, even though makikita nyo naman online regarding the Prime HRM, sabi ni Savvy from YouTube, how can we ensure meritocracy regarding the Prime HR in the process of hiring? Is there a monitoring and evaluation conducted to agencies in order to eradicate the palakasan system in all aspects of the hiring process?
Okay. So under Prime HRM kasi meron siyang apat na core HR system, one of which is apat yan. There's recruitment, selection, and placement. That would be the one that I'll be answering for that particular question. The second is on performance management. The third is learning and development. And the fourth is rewards and recognition. Now, going back into sinasabi nating palakasan system, we have the recruitment or the RSP, recruitment, selection, and placement. I'll go back to yung sinasabi ko kanina that under the Prime HRM, we are highly encouraging government agencies to adopt the competency-based na recruitment system. They should set up competency models, competency requirements for each position so that yun at yun ang hahanapin nila and there's no palakasan in there. It's because ang titingnan is yung meron bang kakayahan etong certain applicant on this particular position. So that's how it is, and guided by our 2017 Ora-Ora, nandoon naman din po na the top 5 na most qualified and competent for the position, doon pipili yung ating appointing authority on whom to appoint and hire.
So I think that's another topic for the Prime HR. All right. Thank you,
Yes.
Director Ems. All right. Another question, Sir Angelito from PhilHealth, regarding naman to sa work from home. What cases or scenarios would work from home be allowed given the post-national health emergency declaration period?
That's quite tricky. It's because, as mentioned kanina on our MC on FWA, it is the agency that should be able to enumerate all na pwede. Kasi ang agency ang mas nakakaalam kung ano yung mga cases or scenario that they would allow work from home, which is one of the components of the flexible work arrangement, because you can work from home, you can work from any place within the Philippines, or you can work doon sa pinakamalapit na office, satellite office. So yun yung mga components. That is why we don't want to impose a one-size-that-fits-all policy. That's why ang nandoon sa ating policies on FWA ay mga general guidelines, which means every government agency should be able to formulate their own internal guidelines regarding FWA. So I think for that, maybe the least that we could do is collaborate and participate kung meron tayong mga meeting pertaining to FWA so that you would be able to come up with your own internal policy.
Right. So it really depends on the agency for the work. Okay.
Of course, we should be anchored dapat siya. This should not be contrary to our prevailing or existing na general guidelines on FWA.
Exactly. Thank you, Director Ems. A lot of questions are still coming in.
Nasa Miss Universe ako eh.
Yes. Okay. From Facebook, from Sir Nogs, the CNC also have plans to highly encourage agencies to support non-technical employees. Some opportunities are mostly catering to technical employees, which leave the non-technical employees with little opportunities for career growth.
That's interesting because yun nga sinasabi namin, ano, the CSC cannot do it all alone. That is why through our several platforms and programs, we encourage yung ating mga government leaders, yung ating mga HRM practitioners to be able to cultivate this nurturing na ano na yan, na mindset na hindi dapat tayo maghihintay lang doon sa mga programa na binibigyan ni Civil Service Commission. But because generally, these are general in nature. We cannot see the bolang kristal na bawat government employee ito yung dapat. That's why we have our own HRM practitioners, HRM offices, HRM na mga um, officers and assistants to do that, to help us with that. So that is why on the part of the CSE, we promulgate policies and guidelines. We offer training programs to our leaders, managers, and supervisors, and our HRM practitioners, teaching them and capacitating them that yung ating learning and development should be inclusive, that walang mapag-iiwanan. Not because ako ay technical or non-technical. That is why isa yun sa mga sa under learning and development under Prime HRM, that each manager or supervisor, and of course the employee himself or herself, is tasked. Ang kanyang role is to develop and prepare his or her individual development plan, because learning is a decision, right? So ang pinaka my responsibility in terms of your learning and growth could come from you. And in fact, it should come from you because you know, kilala mong sarili mo eh. Alam ko ito ang hindi ko alam. These are the areas na hindi ko masyadong gamay. So therefore, I should strive for this. I could do self-study. And I could ask my supervisor or immediate supervisor or manager for him or her to be my mentor or coach. There are a lot of learning interventions available out there. So kailangan lang natin maging resourceful and creative. And yun, that's why we have been continuously advocating yung ating tinatawag na 70-20-10 na learning model. That not all naman ay 10% nga lang yung ating formal training programs, which should not rely on those things, but it's a combination of all those na mga learning interventions.
Sabi niyo nga, ma'am, kanina, we cannot do this alone, di ba?
We
It's
cannot
always
do
for
this alone.
collaboration. All right. Okay. Next is a question from Ms. Maria Monica Costales. As the future of public workforce move towards digital transformation and lifelong learning, the CSE has plans to update the qualification standards of positions in the government.
Okay, currently we are, kasi hindi naman kami static, but if ever po, kasi inaayos din namin, we are currently reviewing our QS or qualification standards. So, antabayanan po natin yan sa mga susunod, but I cannot give the exact dates. But we are, hindi po kami nagiging static on that aspect. Kasi nga, you know, we are having, sabi ko nga, faster than the speed of light yung ating pagbabago, di ba? Yung ating mga future of work is really faster than the speed of light. So, hindi po tayo dapat mapag-iiwanan on that. We are also doing several initiatives to update our QS.
That's good to know, Director Ems. All right. Next is from Miss Aisha Jana of the PSA Regional Office. For social protection of employees, is there any program that might help protect an employee from an emotionally and mentally abusive supervisor?
Actually, marami tayong mga avenues. Actually, meron kaming, nakalimutan ko lang yung specific natin na issue ones on mental health. But if you think that meron naman tayong a lot of mga remedies and mechanisms for that, you can always seek paano ba sabihin niya? You can always write the Civil Service Commission. And in fact, we have been receiving a lot of letters asking for help, seeking for help on that matter. So just don't hesitate to write us. Write any of your nearest CSE field or regional office. So yun lang po ang kaya kong sabihin doon. Rest assured, hanggat kaya namin na ma-address yon, we will always be there for you as your central HR agency.
All right. So the CSC office are always open to
Yes.
for our questions. Okay. Unfortunately, we're almost time, but we have one last question for this
Lang
afternoon,
talaga.
Director Ems. Even though a lot are coming, it's okay. You can still send your questions. We will share it with Director Ems as well. Okay. For our last question po, can you share examples of the different agencies that have successfully transformed their organizations to become more adaptive?
I like the work transformed, ano. Tamang-tama. Upcoming, meron kaming tinatawag na, speaking of itong mga transformation talaga, there's always Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So that's why this October 9, that's on I think on sa Monday, coming na Monday, we have what we call the BSP Summit. Now, the BSP Summit, although limited po, and pre-identified na yung ating mga participants sa the BSP Summit. Ang BSP Summit po is a showcase, or it's actually a one-day program which would highlight yung mga initiatives ng Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas on how they were able to level up from level 2 under Prime HRM to level 4 strategic HRM. So that's why they will be showcasing their best practices across the 4 core HR system, which is the recruitment, selection, placement, performance management, learning and development, and rewards and recognition. At ang magiging participants po nun ay yung ating yung mga nag-level 2 na. Kasi at least, di ba, malapit na sila doon for level 4. Yung mga, although pili lang because of course, we have a limited venue that would limit the number of participants to that. So we have opened this, and we have nag-identify ng mga participants for this are our regional counterparts, because sa kanila naman talaga dumadaan kung sino yung mga level 2 accredited under the Prime HRM. So yun ang unang top of the mind. It would always be Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas.
Great. Okay, and that's all the time that we have for today. We'd like to express our sincerest gratitude, Director Ems. Thank you very much for sharing your expertise and valuable insights with us, and also for gamingly answering all of our participants' questions for this afternoon. All right, so for the participants, as a reminder, to obtain an e-certificate of attendance, the webinar viewers are requested to or are required to complete the sessions evaluation forms and pass the exam. You will receive the link to the unified 2-day evaluation and exam after the second session tomorrow. And we appreciate your cooperation. Thank you very much for joining us today. See you again tomorrow at 2 p.m. for the second day of our webinar series. Have a great rest